extremely busy schedule. School doesn't start until next week.
Yeah, same here. Well, so I wanted to start off that I really like your EP. There's this kind of charm to it. It's not perfect, but it's not perfect in a good way.
Yeah,
It's like kind of sloppy in some parts, but it's sloppy in a good way. It's
yeah. Thanks.
almost.
Yeah,
Is that what you were going for?
yeah. It's like, I had this cover of a Black Keys song I put up a couple months ago on that
I saw
same
that.
channel on YouTube,
Yeah.
and people were just like, "Your voice is so flat," and I'm like, "Yep,
Well, that's one thing I wanted
that's
to
what you
talk to you
got."
about is on the "Living for the Moment" song, which is probably my favorite.
Oh, cool.
You're like you actually sing well. You're
Yeah,
like and
yeah,
say you will. You're like say you will. You're actually singing the
yeah,
melody. I'm like
yeah,
there you go. You can sing.
yeah. See, I guess like when you write your own stuff, it's different from doing a cover because, I mean, obviously I'm not gonna reach Dan Auerbach levels.
I mean,
And I mean, if you heard the original part for the original ending of the title track, Miracle Drought, it was supposed to have a very, like, I personally think it sounds a lot like Gaslight Anthem for the most part, but there was this part at the end that would have been really Gaslight Anthem-y that I wish I could have done, but I just don't really. It would have had some long notes in it.
right? Yeah, yeah. And the reason I started following you because you're on that. You follow the Cover Killer on Facebook, right? You're part of
Yeah,
the
I
Cover
noticed.
Killer.
I noticed that that's one of the that's like the mutual friend
Right.
who sent me that request.
And the reason I started following your channel was because you posted something on Facebook. I'm like,
Yeah.
I
Wait,
forget
wait. By my channel, do you mean my personal one or Spin Reviews?
both. Somehow
Oh,
I
okay.
think I
Okay.
fell upon the other one and went to the other one, something like
Okay.
that.
Then I know I have posted a couple reviews to that like Facebook group.
Right. I saw your top. It was either top 100 or top 50 albums of
25, I think.
2025. My favorite, by the way, my favorite album of that year was Daft Punk Random Access Memories.
Oh
It was
yeah. Well,
fantastic.
I did put that in there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. 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 I know you put it in there, but that was my personal favorite.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there
Well,
was
I mean, your profile picture.
right. Exactly. I love that album to death. I have it on vinyl. Actually, I have
Oh.
a turntable. I have a
Oh,
badass turntable.
yeah. I do too.
Yeah.
You might have like seen it in a video on that channel.
Right. Yeah.
Um.
And but yeah. So EP. Uh, what did you just recorded it all on the computer?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. I just got this interface here. Um. Just got the guitar, bass, drums, put them all in here individually. Um. And just yeah, pretty simple process.
And did you
Even
play?
though it would be kind of cool to have a band at some point, just so I don't have to handle everything.
Right. Did so and you played the drums?
Everything.
That's awesome. Well, thing is, I play guitar, bass, and drums and stuff, and I can sing. And I have a band right now, and
Oh.
we've written a couple of songs. I have them on YouTube. They're not recorded. They're recorded, but they're recorded on a video camera. It's not like in an interface and recorded on a computer kind of material. But
Yeah.
uh, what kind of guitars did you use? Like
Well,
Fender, Gibson?
I just, as much as I'd like to say I'm some kind of aficionado or something, I just have the one I've had since I was like 9.
No, same here. I have the same guitar I've had since I was a kid.
Well,
What kind of pickups does it have? Like single coil
Uh,
pickups,
see,
humbuckers.
I couldn't even recognize the pickup. I don't know much of the technical stuff.
Well, can I see it? Can I see the pickups?
Uh, it
Fender.
says a slammer on the head here. If
Yeah,
that means
I could
anything. I
tell
don't
that
see any other like names here.
it's a. I could tell they were single coil pickups. Those are my favorite. Those are my personal favorite. I love a Fender sound or that single coil pickup kind of sound.
Mm.
Yeah, I also saw that you put the Kings of Leon album on the top top 25. That was a
Yeah,
great album, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. That was like the nice like a return to form for them.
Right.
Cause like I don't. I feel like a lot of people give Only by the Night and Come Around Sundown a little too much crap. Like
Yeah.
I think they're not bad albums, but they did get kind of boring. It's like it's like Only by the Night did kind of try a little too hard to have that arena rock bombast. Maybe Come Around Sundown went a little too much down the southern rock rabbit hole.
Right.
But this one's just like, but Mechanical Bull is really put them back on track.
It's honestly a lot of fun too. Like the first
Yeah,
three songs are just freaking great
yeah,
pop,
yeah,
rock songs.
yeah. Because I heard all these like these articles and interviews with one of them about how they went in expecting to basically make the sequel to Come Around Sundown, and were surprised by how youthful and energetic the material they were coming up with was.
Yeah. Some of the stuff kind of leans more towards the Come Around Sundown, but it's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
it feels really fresh.
Yeah, yeah, you know, like Wait for Me,
Right. Yeah.
Before, you know those.
It, like you said that. Yeah, yeah. It just I thought I thought honestly I think it's one of their best. It's not as good as Youth and Young Manhood or Aha Shake Heartbreak.
I personally say, you know, in retrospect, I'm not really sure if I love it quite as much as I did then. Just like
Right.
my attitude was like, I didn't think there were any filler songs, and they were all really good, so it's fantastic. But looking back, like maybe they could have gone a little more adventurous with it, because like re-listening to Because of the Times, which is my favorite from them,
Yeah.
I put Mechanical Bull second. Um, yeah, re-listening to Because of the Times, there were like those more experimental songs in there, and yeah, it would have been kind of cool to see more of those on Mechanical Bull instead of
Yeah.
just like a bunch of great rock songs. But
Yeah.
it was so great.
I completely agree that the first time I heard it, like I was like, oh my god, it's amazing. But like okay, maybe I was like, wow, this is a great album. But after listens, it's not as good, but I still think it's one of their best albums.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm not sure if you saw my recent update video, but I've changed from 100 out of 100 to out of 10. But I but look, even looking, if I was going by that, I gave it an 89 before, and now I'd probably give it like an 83, 84, like around there. Still great, but maybe not my favorite from them.
Right. And yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, and one thing that I've always wondered on the "Say You Will" song, what are those chords at the beginning?
Oh, it's just
Is it power chords?
um yeah, yeah. Basically, what it was
Hey, I'll be right back. Give me 5 seconds.
okay.
Okay, I'm here. I wanted to grab my guitar real
Okay.
fast.
Okay. Well, I mean, for pretty much everything except the for the intro and verse chords, it's really like it's just a G F, but for the first couple of times it's just the power chords. See, and then it just changes to the bar chords after the first couple of times.
Yeah. For some reason, that's just really hypnotic. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Have you heard the Green Day song Macy's Day Parade?
I have not.
Oh, well, if you listen to that song, you might notice there's a bit of influence there in like
Okay.
the strumming pattern and stuff.
Yo, yeah,
It's off their album Warning. Are you much of a Green Day fan?
I love American Idiot, and I love Dookie. Other than that, I'm not too huge on Green Day.
Okay, well, yeah, it's from their 2000 album Warning. It's pretty underrated. So I guess I get why.
Is that a good album? Should I check it
Yeah,
out?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a great album. I would call it one of my favorites, but it wasn't one of their more commercially successful ones.
Right. Yeah.
Like some of the bigger singles on it were like Minority, Waiting.
Right. And I think one of the things that you accomplished on your EP is that each song has its own vibe. It's not like this song is kind of like this song, and I
Yeah.
think that they all pretty much stand alone. And that's what I try to do as a songwriter is I try to make every song sound different. Because if you listen to a lot of metal music, it all sounds the same, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of why I can't. I mean, you could kind of say that about any genre, really, for artists that don't quite get it right. Although, like some of my favorite albums of like last year or like of this year do have that diversity to them. Like, I mean, I didn't really go out of my way to put together like a diverse album, and even like in the grand scheme of things, it's not really that diverse. But I mean, there is. But there is like the song with like the garage rock feel, the song with like the pop, the slow pop rock kind of feel. The more like I guess I'm not sure how to put Miracle Drop, maybe like arena rock kind of sounding, but I'm not really sure what genre I'd put it under. Maybe
Yeah,
Heartland rock. I
it
don't know.
kind of
But
sounds like
but
a
but
straight
but
up.
um but but I feel like I'm just doing this like big like official interview thing whenever I'm talking to.
Yes, finish the interview. No, I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm kind of sad that your album isn't getting more
yeah,
kind of people aren't
yeah.
looking at it more than they are. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have advertised it. Yeah, I'm still waiting to get double digits on the page.
right, I get
Um, I think but let me think. The whole diversity thing. And here's the thing. I have like 2 albums worth of songs that have no lyrics that are completely written musically, at least from guitar point of view,
that's cool.
and it gets it gets a lot crazier. Like there's this one that's like dream pop. There's this like full on metal riff. There's like it kind of goes
Yeah,
all over the place, and like I'm not sure if like the dream pop one and the metal one like or the next two I think of lyrics to.
hmm
I'm not sure how you know they go together on the same project.
Oh yeah, that's one thing else I wanted to talk to you about. You that 21 Pilots guy, you got the interview with him?
Well, it's 2 people, but yeah.
Well, one of the guys. See, I saw the interview, but for some reason I
Oh
never
yeah.
checked him out. But
Uh, uh, you really should.
my dad, he really loves him. So we were in the car. He's like, check out this song, and he showed me what is it, car radio?
Yeah, car radio. Yeah.
Yeah, he showed me that song. I'm like, this is pretty good.
Even
You
though
know,
he showed you it on his car radio.
exactly. Yeah. No, it was actually really good. So
Yeah. Yeah. That,
honestly, I still haven't checked it out though. I
Yeah,
need to.
at least at the time I reviewed it, that was my favorite song on it. But it's one of those where like each song is so individually awesome that like
Right.
it kind of changes week to week,
Yeah.
depending on like which one most recently came on your shuffle.
But yeah, the that's cool. Your song "Living for the Moment," I actually just figured that out by myself. I was like, there you go, there's it. And then
Hmm,
I went,
cool. Well, I mean, it is a
done with
it's a pretty basic like I guess blues
it. Right.
progression. Like
Yeah,
I know
it is
I feel
very
like a
simple.
bit of a hypocrite just because I'm not sure if you saw my review on the spin reviews of this album by this band called The Stripes. Um,
I did not.
but basically they're this like classic rock throwback band, and every song had like a
Right.
chord progression like that. So I was like, this is so unoriginal. But then three
Yeah,
weeks later,
you're right. Living for the moment, but you can do that in moderation. Like I wrote
yeah,
a song. It's literally this, and then it goes. It's not. It's very very simple. But the
Yeah.
thing is, all the other songs I've written aren't like that. You know, they're somewhat kind of a lot different than that one song. So I think you can write those kind of songs. It just has to be in moderation, and it can't just be
Yeah,
every song can't be like that.
yeah, exactly. 'Cause, like
Unless you're the Ramones.
true. Um, well, they're all dead now. So.
Well, that sucks. Thanks for bringing it down.
But like there was this whole like bit I did in that Stripes review. Have you heard the Stripes, by the way?
I have not.
Okay, well, I did this like bit where it's like I'm gonna play these two like basically the two chord progressions in Living for the Moment would turn out to be those and then I just like listed in the in like the captions of the video like which songs those apply to, and I ended up listing like 9 of them.
Right. Yeah.
So there's a point where you can be a little too much like
Hmm.
50s Hero Worship.
I want to show you, like, I'm later. I'm gonna. Like I said, I have all my songs that I've written in the band and stuff
Oh,
that we've
cool.
written. I'm gonna send to you. But and I wanted to bring up like the idea of a band, and there are a lot of times like when see, because I'm very musically minded like you, so I want when I want something a certain way, I know how I want it to sound, but then they want it to sound a different way. So the freedom with you is you literally get to do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
But
when I'm with a band, it's a democracy. You know, I have to be like, okay, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And
you
that's kind of frustrating, but I
know,
usually end up writing good songs.
you know what? I think I could actually. I'm in a position where if I had someone to do like drums and lyrics, basically, like maybe some like more technical drum parts and lyrics, then I could have like, and give me a month, I could have like 2 albums out
Right.
of this material. So I am in the position where I could use a little assistance.
I mean, I can
Yeah,
do that or whatever. I mean, like, cause me, I'd consider myself a good drummer. Like I'm listening to your drum parts, and like, not to be rude, but I
they're
could make them
simple.
sound a lot more clean. You could say, but that's not the point of your album. You're not trying
Oh,
to.
clean. Well, you know, the irony of that is that they're actually done on these electronic drum pads, so it's about as clean
Oh,
as you can get. It's just that I put a little distortion on them to like match the guitars.
right. That's awesome, actually. I have a real drum set that we play with.
Yeah,
But all I was getting at is, your drum parts can kind of, in a good way though, like I said, be sloppy. Your guitar parts are mostly pretty much on the spot, and you're good. But sometimes your drum parts are kind of, but you know this, they're
yeah, yeah,
kind of sloppy, but in a good way. Like I said, I'm not
yeah,
trying to insult it.
yeah.
But I'm
yeah.
saying if I were with you, I can make them sound clean and they'd be in line. But anyway, that doesn't matter. I don't know. That's
Yeah, I know. I know. There's like a missing snare hit here and there.
yeah.
You know,
But no,
little things.
but the thing about that is music is too perfect nowadays. That's why I hate pop music, like mainstream
Mm,
pop music. It's too
you know,
perfect.
I feel like there's room for perfection. Like I feel like some genres, like in more the electronic or like pop kind of worlds, like don't really warrant those little imperfections as much as like the more rock leaning stuff.
Yeah, but I will say that a band, let's take Daft Punk, right? I
Oh
look
yeah.
horrible in this. Anyway, uh, they shoot they shoot for perfection. But the thing is, the drum tracks especially, they have a lot of feel. Like he'll do a certain drum roll and or he'll do a drum fill and it'll be like a really good feel. They'll edit it a certain way. That's what pop music doesn't have is feel. It just feels like a drum machine going.
Mm.
It doesn't has no
Well,
feel.
well, I mean, I honestly am in the position where I think I'm not sure if you agree, but I think pop music's gotten a lot better since like 2011.
I no, I completely agree.
Yeah, like I feel like a lot of like the stereotypical stuff people associate with pop music is it's not gone, but it's
No.
like there's a bit more balance. I mean, if you look at
Yeah,
like
I
the number
agree. Like
one songs
lower.
of the last 3 years, there was Adele, there was a Gautier, and
Yeah.
Macklemore, and
And
you
that's
can't really. I don't see how anyone can argue those artists are like corporately like molded. You know?
no. There's an ad that's on Pandora with Macklemore talking about how they don't have a record label or they have an independent record label and how they make everything on their own and it's all their own vision. So yeah, for sure. And that we need more of that though is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, yeah. But
And
it's
like
at least it's getting there,
right.
which you gotta be happy about.
One of the songs that pains me a lot when I ever listen to it is that Jennifer Lopez song with that she always does with Pitbull, right?
You mean
It's
all
like
of them?
yeah, they all sound the same, right?
She has like 50 songs with Pitbull in the last
Right.
6 months.
Exactly. They're all up in the club partying, you know.
Although it's kind of funny how she's how huge she is as a celebrity, and her album bombed, for lack of a better term. Like there
Yeah.
have been no songs from it getting big success on the radio,
Did you?
and I kind of love that.
I assume you follow Anthony Fantano.
Oh yeah, I've been a fan of his since like early 2011.
Actually, that's funny. Me too. Uh. Anyway, did you see his video about Robin Thicke's album, like selling what, 500 copies?
Triple digit in like in I think UK, and even less than, and it was like 40 or something in Australia.
That's insane in the membrane, isn't it?
And have you seen my review of that album?
Yeah, you hated it.
I hate it
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's not the
not
best.
like as like foaming as the mouth as then, but
Right.
I just
I
I
agree.
I defended him during the blurred line controversies.
Right. No, that's an all right song. I mean, every time I hear it, I'm so sick of it now. But
Yeah,
when it first came out, it was an all right song. You
yeah,
know.
and there are like some, yeah, it's like music, it's like that, and I'm defending that song, and that's not even one of my favorites
Nah.
on that album from last year. It. I mean, granted, there are some terrible songs on that,
Yeah,
but
that's what I was saying. I listened to that album one time all the way through, and most of it sounded, except for Blurred Lines, all of it sounded like just trying to be 70s kind of disco pop stuff. And it
well,
just,
I mean the trying to be 70s like there were some great songs on it. Like if anything, the ones that I didn't like were the ones where he was trying too hard to be like modern club pop.
right, exactly.
Like there was this one song, I'm not sure if you recognized it, but like where he did this really terrible Timbaland impression for the chorus.
I don't recall, honestly. It's been a while.
And there's this one song featuring Kendrick Lamar, which you'd think would be great. It features Kendrick Lamar,
Yeah,
but
I love Good Kid, Mad City. Yeah.
I still haven't gotten around to hearing that. But I love everything I've heard from him.
Uh,
I'm definitely gonna give it a listen by the time he drops his next album.
the reason I love that album is because I love progressive albums that have stories. Like I know you have a Who thing in your background. I love the Who
Oh
shit.
yeah,
Quadrophenia is
cause I saw them on their Quadrophenia 40th anniversary tour last year.
you lucky son of a gun. Was it freaking amazing?
Yeah, it's funny people say that like Roger Daltrey can't sing anymore, but he did pretty well. So
Dude, for his age, he can freaking belt that shit. You know,
yeah.
he's freaking awesome.
Although they just announced their like last world tour, and I get that, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And
I love that too.
just a little spoiler alert because I'm going to be doing a little bunch of videos on my vinyl collection like over the next couple of months. I also got this.
Ah, I need that. I have
Yeah.
I have Tommy and I have Quadrophenia on vinyl. I
Oh
just need
well,
what's next.
you have two, so I should be jealous of you.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Well, the cool thing was, Tommy, I found it at Hastings, $2.
Oh,
Yeah, it
wow.
was $2 for the double L. No, no, no. Yeah, no. Is it? No, it's two LPs. I'm letting my friend borrow it, so I can't get it right this second. But unfortunately, but yeah, it was super cheap, and I love the Who. Like I was saying, I love albums with stories they're really epic. I love
Mm,
epic albums. I love
yeah.
albums that rise and fall and like the character goes through a journey. And
Oh, do you mean like you mean just like concept albums?
yeah, I love concept albums, but I love albums that also tell the tell the story of a character like Quadrophenia or Tommy.
That's almost the definition of a concept album.
Well, yeah, it is. I almost consider it more of a rock opera, like they say it is.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, I kind of think like a rock opera is a type of concept album, but yeah, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, sure. Uh,
Sorry, I'm just asking you.
no, do you like a Pink Floyd?
Oh, hang on a second.
You're all right. They didn't do that much for music. Yeah.
There we go.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of a necessary thing.
It's super necessary. Um, that's the only Pink Floyd album I have on vinyl. But my favorite,
I mean, I don't have any on CD or anything, so that's the only thing I have from them
I do.
physically.
I have it.
Oh,
I have Pink Floyd on CD, but it's an MP3 CD that I burned. Uh,
well, that doesn't count.
exactly. Uh,
You're a
no,
poser.
no. I've Dark Side of the Moon on vinyl. Don't
Yeah,
get me
yeah.
wrong. Uh, uh, what? Okay. What is your favorite Pink Floyd album?
Uh, I feel like I haven't heard that many in full, honestly. I've heard Dark Side of the Moon, obviously. I forgot if I've heard all of The Wall in full. I know I've heard like see, I went through this weird phase like until until like early 2011 at age 14 when I like only listened to the commercially notable songs from albums, and I like got a bunch from the library and like only burned the hits. And that was the point where I got The Wall. So I'm gonna have to listen to that at some point. Also, I'm working on a video of like my favorite albums in 1994, and I recently burned the Division Bell onto my iTunes, so hopefully gonna give that a listen at some point.
Yeah.
Um, so I know I've heard Dark Side of the Moon, and I know I've heard Wish You Were Here. Um,
Okay.
those might be the only ones I've heard in full. So
You have
I
to.
feel kind of weird saying a favorite Pink Floyd album if I've only heard two.
Right. Well, my favorite Pink Floyd album is Animals. That is a
Uh,
brilliant,
yeah,
brilliant album.
I hear about it. Yeah.
And The Wall is a close second, but I have to put Dark Side of the Moon at number two.
You know
And
they're
then,
putting one out later this year.
oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I'm excited. But
Yeah,
the only
yeah,
bad thing, no Roger Waters.
yeah. But I mean, like Momentary Lapse of Reason and Division Bell were without Roger Waters, and those turned out pretty well.
They're good albums, but they're not. They don't have the lyrics.
Because I feel like by that same logic, you have to say like because I feel like there are people that say they sucked after Sid Barrett left,
That's not true.
and I almost kind of want to push the Roger Waters fanboys like under that same but on that same level.
No, no, no. I don't think
Because
they're.
I mean, you still got David Gilmour, and he's clearly one of the masterminds of the
Well,
band,
the
and
music,
it's like almost like in tribute to Richard Wright. So
right, which is great. But the thing is, one of the things that I absolutely love about Pink Floyd, and that's why I fell in love with them, was the lyrics. The lyrics are absolutely phenomenal. Uh, and that's something that you didn't get from a momentary lapse of reason or a division bell was the lyrics.
Hmm. I mean,
That's my opinion, you know.
okay, well, I mean, I haven't heard those albums, so I can't really judge. But I mean, songs like High Hopes, that's definitely a good one.
They're good lyrics, but they're just not the same style of lyrics that you got with
Okay,
that
I
I
get
fell
it.
in love with.
Um,
Okay, yeah,
okay, well, again, I can't really say much because
right,
I've only
exactly,
heard two in full. Um,
exactly.
so have you heard any what kind of albums have you heard this year? Like any favorites?
Dude,
Like from this year?
I know, dude. Last year I was all in the up and up on new music, right? Dude, so at the beginning of this year, I was planning. I'm like, this is the album I'm gonna check out. I need to check out this album. I haven't even heard the new Jack White album, nor have I heard the new Black Keys album.
Oh man. You know what I got
Oh,
recently?
dude, the Super Vinyl,
The Ultra LP.
Ultra Vinyl. Oh shit.
Ultra LP.
Ah, is it awesome?
Yeah, you know about all those little things going on with it?
Uh huh. There's a lot.
Although the only unfortunate thing is that my turntable stops when you move it to the center, so I can't play those songs on the labels.
Ah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Uh,
But other than, I mean, it's still got the hologram and like the two grooves on Just One Drink that like merge into one.
well, is it a good album? Is it worth checking
Oh,
out?
oh yeah, it's still a great album.
It's a good. Okay, good. So I'm gonna check that out as soon as possible. What about the new Black Keys? Any songs
I
I've heard, I actually
I
like.
also I I had to keep reaching here, but I also got that one.
Dude, there you go.
Yeah.
So
It's a
you
funny
would
thing. These are
recommend
the only um new 2014 albums I've gotten on vinyl. So
what? So what else is good besides those two albums?
okay. By the way, about the Black Keys one. Have you heard their like all their albums
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Except for that one.
except for what?
Except for the new one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, definitely seem to be open-minded, so I feel like you would like it. Just know that it's by far their least bluesy.
That's
Like,
why I didn't check it out.
like it makes El Camino look like the big come up.
Oh wow.
I mean, in most songs, I mean, there are definitely those, but see, I feel like it makes up for it by having more like a psychedelic kind of sensibility. Like,
And one of the reasons I don't like some of their new stuff is because it's produced by Danger Mouse, and
well, I mean, you've heard the singles from this, right? Fever and Turn
yeah,
Blue.
yeah,
Um, have you heard any other songs from it?
nope,
Oh, not a Weight of Love.
nope. Or
Okay, well
yeah, the
that.
one that you covered. Yeah.
Oh well, Gotta Get Away. So you've heard the original version of that song?
No, I've only heard your cover of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah, it's definitely an outlier on the album in terms of like that's the only one I could picture fitting on one of their other albums. I wouldn't say that it's my favorite Black Keys album, but if you're open-minded enough, it's definitely a solid one. Like there are songs that maybe have like the production tricks, but not
Right.
quite the songwriting to back it up. But
Uh,
that's kind of rare.
well, that's one of the reasons why I wasn't digging the that. Oh, what I was gonna say was Danger Mouse. Have you listened to a lot of their songs? Some of them, not all of them. Their drums sound very mechanical. Like if you listen to "Howling for You," the drums sound like they were edited in Pro Tools and to go. It doesn't like the thing that made a lot of the other albums so great is that they had this live sensibility. Everything
Mm,
sounded live and in the moment. You know.
well, I guess I get that, but I'm gonna dish out. Oh wait, have you seen my review of Turn Blue on Spin Reviews?
I watched the first few minutes and then for some reason I didn't watch the rest.
It was probably the lighting.
No,
I
well,
don't know what was going on that day, but the lighting ended up really weird on that review. But anyway,
no, you're good. It wasn't. It
Okay,
wasn't you. It was more me.
yeah. I
It was
okay.
probably late
Well,
at night.
then you might have seen like me dishing out the unpopular opinion that the first two are my least favorites.
Sorry,
That
what?
you might have heard me saying the unpopular opinion that their first two are my least favorites.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, because I don't know. To me, like they had sure they had the raw blues rock sound, but they didn't really add much. Like to me, the songs weren't always there, and it was just kind of like the sound. They didn't really fill out the sound with the two guys quite as well
I
as
agree.
on future albums. To me,
Hmm.
like the mix felt kind of empty.
I agree.
Like it was just like him playing like some bluesy riff and Patrick playing some simple drum part for
Hmm.
2 minutes, and that was it.
No, actually, I agree. Um, but no,
Rubber
I
Factory.
still like those records.
Yeah, well, Rubber Factory. Because I hadn't heard the first three before checking out Turn Blue, which I aim to do, and Rubber Factory is a new favorite of mine. Like
Yeah,
that is like what the first two are trying to do. Rubber Factory just
exactly,
perfected.
exactly. That's my favorite album.
Mine's still Attack and Release for kind of like for like nostalgic reasons.
That used to
But
be my favorite.
yeah, because that
Attack
was
and
the
Release.
album that got me into them at like age 12.
That's actually that's the first Black Keys album I ever listened to was
Yeah,
um
yeah. With you know, two and three are constantly switching now between El Camino and Rubber Factory.
yeah. Attack and
Just
Release.
just huh?
Attack and Release, at least for me, near the end, it kind of got a little slow, and then it picks back up. It's not a, it. Some of the songs, what I mean, are don't do it for me.
Yeah, I like that it does kind of have like a for lack of a better term diversity to it. Like I like what they did in the middle of the album, where like they had the same song, but they did it like one fast version, one slow version.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
kind of
that's
cool.
cool. I love that. Yeah, and one of my favorite songs that they've ever written is "Psychotic Girl."
Oh yeah. And of course, I Got Mine. That's one of their more iconic riffs.
Right. And I got mine. That's one of my favorites. "Strange Times" is a great song.
Yeah,
Even the first song, "All You Ever Wanted," is a good song.
yeah, yeah. Wait, hang on a second.
Okay. I'm all alone in this place that I.
Just give me a minute.
You're good. I'm all alone in this place that I call home. In the box. Say you will. Mm. You know what you're doing to me. You know what you're doing.
Okay, I'm back.
Q.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, some. Never mind house stuff. But
Yeah, yeah, stuff.
where were we?
I forget. I wanted to
Something
ask
about
you.
the Black Keys.
Oh yeah, we're talking about Black Keys, right?
Yeah. So you were asked. Were you asking like what like recommendations?
Yeah, like besides the Black Keys album and the Jack White album, what's another good album that came out this
Yeah.
year? Because I've been really
Well,
bad about
I
following
mean
music.
that was actually like that's currently number 15 for me on my list.
Okay. If you
Even
listen
though
to all their albums.
I give it a 76.
Yeah.
So it's a solid album, but it's not flawless.
Right.
So do you like dislike Danger Mouse, like in general?
No. I love Danger Mouse.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think Danger Mouse doesn't, but he doesn't work with rock and roll.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Have you heard the Gray album?
No, I've heard a lot about it. But
It's
that was kind of
amazing.
similar thing. It was kind of similar thing for me with Term Blue is that he I do like his work on Attack and Release and El Camino, but here he got too Danger Mousey.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Like, he kind of subtly integrated the Danger Mouse sound into those other albums,
Mm-hmm.
whereas here it's just like that synth tone is all over the place, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
You know, there are great songs. There are great. There are some fantastic songs on this thing.
I agree. That I've never heard the album, but I agree that he got too Danger Mousey. And if you look at a lot of raw bands that produced albums, like let's say in the '90s or something, a really great choice for a producer was, you know, who Steve Albini is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, that was a name that popped in my head when you
yeah.
brought that up.
Imagine if Black Keys worked with Steve Albini. He does. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Great thing about him. He doesn't really produce albums. He just takes what you have, he tightens it up, and he puts it on tape, and that's it. You know.
Yeah.
I wish more bands did
Whereas Danger
that.
Mouse is basically the third member of the Black Keys.
Exactly.
And either approach can work well. It's just a question of how well
Yeah,
it works for them.
yeah. Just look at the Beatles. You know, which is my favorite band ever.
Of course you will. Of course it is. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on, dude.
I know. I'm making fun of people that are like that.
Well, I'm not a Beatles worshiper though.
Yeah,
Like there are plenty of Beatles songs that I dislike.
Revolution 9.
Revolution One.
No, 9.
Oh, well, no. Actually,
No,
I like that song. I'm not gonna lie. There are parts of that song where certain little melodies come up, and like, that's a great melody. Why didn't they use that melody or something?
yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. But the White Album is actually my favorite Beatles, or the White Album or Abbey Road.
Yeah. Those are great. Sergeant Pepper is mine.
That's your Sergeant Pepper.
Although I will say this. To me, the Beatles are like at a weird point where like they're so overrated that they're kind of underrated.
Yeah, I saw the video
Like
where he said that.
there's so much of like a stigma attached to mentioning them because it's like, oh, obviously. But I
Right.
recently got this compilation of theirs, their later years on vinyl, and re-listen and listening to this, like I forgot just how great a lot of these songs are
Yeah.
because they have so many like integrated into culture songs that you
Right.
forget like how great it actually is.
That's the thing. I actually kind of almost to a point dislike a lot of early Beatles,
Yeah.
Help and Back. That's like my least favorite stuff. I hardly ever listen to that stuff. But Rubber Soul to Let It Be, Abbey Road, that's my favorite stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people that hate the Beatles, or at least like think they're extreme, or like just don't get it with them,
right,
they only think about those first couple of years,
right,
and not just like how forward thinking the rest of it is.
exactly.
Yeah,
And how freaking amazing musician they're all amazing musicians, you know.
by the way, did you listen to the Paul McCartney album from last year?
Yes.
And it's great, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of mind blowing how he can still do that
Right. Yeah, for being
as well as he's doing it.
yes. I agree. He did
And
work. Go
yeah,
ahead.
it's not even like he's just rehashing like his like Wings or something, but like he you can tell he's still a music fan and he's like incorporating
Right.
some more modern elements, but
Right.
and making it work.
Right. Exactly. He's he's being modern while at the same time sticking to what he does best.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
like not in a trend hopping way, but
Right.
in like just in the name of experimentation.
Right. And there's a song with the drum machine on there. You know.
Appreciate.
Yeah.
I was about to mention that. Like that's like electro pop,
Yeah.
and he makes
Exactly.
it work.
Exactly. Uh, my favorite song has to be it Queenie Eye
Oh yeah.
or New Queenie Eye or New. I know those are kind of cliche.
Yeah, because they're the singles, but yeah,
Yeah.
I would actually have to say new, just because that's like proof that he can still write just a perfect pop song.
A great pop song. Yes. That really is a great song.
Like it really sounds like it could have come off like maybe
Revolver.
Sgt. Pepper or something, or like maybe Abbey, like one of those like one of the because like one of the popular songs of like one of those latter era
Uh huh.
Beatles albums.
He's a great songwriter. Like whenever, but my favorite member of the Beatles is honestly John Lennon. Though, as much as I love Paul, uh, I think because John Lennon, the songs that he writes speak to me more. You know,
Yeah.
they. Have you heard his solo album, Plastic Ono Band?
I haven't heard any of them in full. I mean, I have that Lennon Legend compilation,
No,
but
that compilation sucks.
really,
Listen to
why?
because it doesn't really no, okay, let me rephrase this.
Because saying it
It
sucks
has
would
a lot
imply
of
the songs on it suck.
right, okay. It all the songs are on it are great, but it's cutting his solo efforts short because all the albums are great. Track one to the last track, they're all
Well,
great.
by that same logic, so you're just against John Lennon compilation albums in general.
No, not really. I just think that people who do the compilations, that's fine, but try out uh, Plastic Ono Band, listen to Imagine, listen to Walls and Bridges, listen.
Well,
There's a lot of
I
great
mean,
albums.
as far as I know, they included some stuff from each album. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I'm not okay. I was being a little harsh. I was being a little facetious.
yeah, because like what would like how would you have made it better?
The By including just a pack of all the albums on one disc.
Okay, so you are just against the John Lynn Grace Hits album.
No, I'm not. I don't. I personally don't like it because if I listen to a John Lennon album, I pick one album and listen to that whole album. So
Yeah,
for me, I'm against it.
okay,
I
but
guess.
like in terms of like if there had to be a John Lynn Grace Hits album, how do you think it
That's fine.
works?
Uh, well, I'd include a hit, and then I would include a song that nobody's ever heard, but a great song.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is kind of cool when yeah, I guess because that compilation doesn't necessarily say the hits of John Lennon. So I guess it would have been kind of cool if they included a D or two.
Yeah,
But I feel like the given for the greatest hits album or like compilation album is just the singles.
yeah. I mean, that's just what you gotta do.
Yeah,
But I
and
mean,
I generally don't really listen to greatest hits albums anymore.
right.
I just like go to what album is their most acclaimed. So if I were to do it over again, I'd probably listen to Plastic Ono Band or Imagine and just start from there.
Plastic Ono Band is not just his most critically acclaimed album. It's probably my top five greatest albums of all time list.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Or maybe Double Fantasy. I don't know.
Double Fantasy, that's a good album. The Yoko Ono songs suck. Like, why why the hell? Anyway, I'm not even gonna get started on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
the
Well,
songs are great.
I mean, I think it's because like I like when I was like 13 and 14 and stuff, I watched that last few years behind the music.
Hmm.
So I like had Double Fantasy built up in my mind
Oh
because
yeah,
like that's kind of what 2/3 of that behind the music was about.
really. Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, I
no,
mean, yeah,
it's a good album. The the cool thing about Double Fantasy is they recently put out Double Fantasy stripped down. So it doesn't like a lot of this 80s kind of silly 80s production that they used on the original Double Fantasy is cut down and they made it a stripped down record and it's a lot I think it's better, but it depends what your kind of cup of tea is, you know.
okay, well, yeah, I probably would start with Classicono Band.
Yeah.
I might have heard that. No, no, that was another one of those where I just got in and like just ripped like Mother and God and stuff and just like songs like that.
Oh, God is an amazing song. I love God.
Yeah.
Mother's in it. I like Mother. I don't know which song I like better, but Mother is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Yeah. Um. So I feel like I'm just going back to the whole 2014 albums thing. I'm just kind of gonna. How about I'll just go up from like the Black Keys one, like to from there to number one because that was number 15. So that should
Yeah,
be enough recommendations.
yeah. I'll like
Um,
come back and
so let's
listen
see here.
to the list.
So there's Young the Giant, Mind Over Matter, Weird Al Yankovic, Mandatory Fun,
Oh,
for obvious reasons.
that's a lot of fun. That album. I've heard that album. There we go. That's one album I've heard. There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah. Foster the People, Supermodel.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I like that album. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I've heard that album too.
yeah. Air Dubai, Be Calm, Dead Phones, local band. Broken Bells, more Dead Mouse, Danger Mouse.
But see, he works with Broken Bells.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was saying. More Danger Mouse.
Right.
So I almost said Dead Mouse. Maybe I should listen to Dead
Actually,
Mouse album.
actually, I actually watched your review of. Didn't you review After the Disco?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've reviewed every album. I've reviewed every album I've heard this year. New album I've heard this year, and that new update video. I'm not sure if you saw it, but it's basically me saying I'm not gonna review every new album I listen to now, so they might become less
Okay.
frequently.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, because I'm becoming less of a music fan and more music critic,
Right.
and like I've reviewed all 90 new albums I've heard since the beginning of 2013. So
One of the reasons I don't want to be a music that's why I don't want to try to do a music reviewing channel is because I'm not a music critic. I'm a music fan, you know.
yeah, and I kind of want to toe the line like only like doing it when I really have something to say because there are a couple of videos on that channel where I felt like looking back I was really reaching for certain points.
Right.
Um, so let's see
Uh,
here. So Irritated by Broken Bells, Stephen Malcolmus and the Jicks, Without Jagbags. He's the former from. Are you a fan of Pavement?
dang, I've heard of them.
Oh, they're like a '90s all rock band. Never mind. It's their frontman's new. Linkin Park, Hunting Party.
Was that good?
Yeah, yeah. Are you much of a Linkin Park fan?
I like their first. I like their first two albums, and then I like quite a few songs off of Minutes to Midnight, but not all of them.
Okay, well, it's easily their heaviest album to date.
Really,
Yeah, like, have you heard anything from it?
the only song I've heard is that really gay pop song. It's I forget what it's
Until It's Gone. That's easily my least favorite
really.
by far.
It just sounds so bad. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
how I
memorable.
described it in the review is basically New Divide plus Burn It Down minus everything interesting about either of those two songs.
Yep.
But trust me, that song is not representative of the album at all.
Really? Oh. Well, I might check
Like
it out.
it's they kind of go punk on some songs. They go it's it's by far their most metal album.
That's interesting. Wow.
Like
Uh,
there's a lot of screams, there's a lot of raps. Like at this point, I did a little skit at the beginning of the opening review, basically making fun of people that are still saying they've changed too much.
actually,
Basically saying that
I did watch it. I did watch part of your hunting party review, and I do
you say,
remember that
yeah,
snippet. That's cool.
yeah. So you kind of get the idea that they have brought back that same appeal, but still evolved as a band.
Right.
And the lyrics are a
I got.
lot more mature.
That's cool.
Like
Because that's one of
there's this one song on there called Rebellion where they basically make fun of teen angst.
really. That's
Where
actually
the
pretty cool.
chorus is let me think the chorus is we are the fortunate ones who never faced oppression's gun. We are the fortunate ones, imitations of rebellion.
Huh.
So it's they're basically calling their former selves out on being melodramatic about their parents and stuff.
Yeah, that's actually kind of true. I completely agree.
And that song features the guitarist from System of a Down.
Really, Darren Malakian?
Yeah, yeah. There actually are a few features on that album. There's Darren Milligan. There's also Rakim on Guilty All the Same. That was the first song. Look that song up. It's called Guilty All the Same. Features Rakim.
Lincoln Park, guilty all the same.
Yeah. It okay. Okay. There's all and one song features Tom Morello, but I thought it was kind of a disappointment.
Oh, really? Dang it.
It was basically like this really like soft instrumental thing, and it's very anticlimactic, and you wouldn't be able to tell Tom Morello was on
Why would
that.
you put Tom Morello in a soft ballad, dude? You use Tom
It's an
Morello in the first
instrumental one too,
down.
and like I heard it was an instrumental, and I got so excited,
Right.
but it's really just like this kind of ambient like piano led
That's
thing.
really weird.
Yeah,
They
he was
probably just said Tom Morello, just like Tom Morello came by the studio and played a few notes, like
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so and the other one is Paige Hamilton from Helmet.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, Guilty all the same. It should give you a good idea of. It's like 6 minutes long.
Let me put it on real fast. I can still talk to you and like listen to it.
Okay. Can I hear it at the same time, or is it just like through your thing?
Dude, my computer's weird. I have to have the headphones in. I know it's
Okay.
weird.
Well,
Dude, this is crazy. This is already shocking me.
yeah. It's like no one. It's like when this came out, like everyone was just really surprised.
Huh. Hmm. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm digging it. That's the other thing I was gonna ask you. What do you like System of a Down?
I feel like I should listen to something from them at some point. I really only know Chop Suey. And maybe two other songs that I've
Okay.
heard over the years. I can actually play the intro from that song though. Wait, are you still listening to that song?
Me too. Me
Wait, are you
too.
still
No,
listening to
I
that
paused
song?
it for a sec. I'm gonna listen to it when I get
Okay,
back.
well,
No, no, no. I paused. Yeah.
completely accidentally. Like I didn't even recognize it was Chop Suey at first. I was like, "Oh, that sounds so familiar."
Yeah.
Then I posted it on Facebook saying, "What song is this? I know I'm gonna hate myself." Someone was like, "Chop Suey, you idiot!" And I was like, "Ah!" and deleted that post immediately.
Yeah. It's like okay, cool, thank you. Yeah, I know how to play it too. I looked it up on tabs. I'll look it up later. Uh,
Okay,
but
anyway,
yeah, dude, System of a Down, their album Toxicity is a masterpiece. Like it's one of my favorite albums of all time, no doubt.
yeah, I'm definitely gonna give their one of their albums a listen at some point.
Dude,
Anyway, keep going up the list. Number
Toxicity.
six, number six would be Mastodon. Once More on the Sun.
I heard
Uh,
that was good.
it's Are you much of a Mastodon fan? Or
I really love what is it called?
Crack the Sky?
You, I love one of the songs from there, and then their album, God, Leviathan. That's what it's called.
Leviathan. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't heard the first two albums.
Oh well, Leviathan. I love that album.
I think Leviathan, but I actually recorded. The reason I had to wait a minute before getting on with this with you is because I was talking to a guy that I a few couple weeks ago I recorded a Mastodon review with, like over here over Hangout, but there was all this confusion and stuff. Like it was sometime last month, um, but he's finally like gotten his stuff together and can start editing and uploading it. Uh, so yeah, I'm just like I'm gonna put up a video on my channel, like directing to it. But it's a
Maybe,
great album.
maybe, possibly, if you're into it, we could do a joint review of an album sometime or something.
Well, I mean, I really just wanted to like do it with like someone
Who's
that
also
like has something to promote,
right.
like maybe a reviewer, or like if you
I get
guys have something out, because I feel like it'd be kind of weird just like doing with like another guy, like
right. No, I'm trying to make something on my channel.
yeah.
There's always
Okay.
something.
Yeah. Really. Because you heard that like the direction Mastodon went on with their last album.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
how it was a lot
Very
more
a lot.
straightforward, a lot more
Yeah,
catchy.
yeah. I haven't listened to it yet.
Personally, I kind of like them more and more with each album, which is an unpopular opinion. And this one's
No.
definitely not an exception. It sort of combines like once you get around to listening to more Mastodon, it's sort of a combination of everything they've done. So fans are liking it a lot more.
Uh-huh. I had a question about that opiate song that you did on your not the greatest first impression, not
Oh
the best
yeah,
first impression. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, this isn't a good first impression.
Yeah,
But
because I kind of jokingly named it that just
yeah,
because, well, it's like someone coming on my Bandcamp. I don't want them to think, oh, what does this guy sound like? What are these weird instrumental things? They sound like they were written in a day because most of them were.
exactly.
In
I
fact, now I think about it, with the exception of maybe Opiate Taking Two, all of them were written in a day each.
well, that's the thing. I really liked Opiate, and I thought a lot of these songs had potential to
Yeah.
be an actual song.
You know, 'cause, Opiate. I've seen like that credit of another guy,
Yeah, I
playing the
did
lead
too.
guitar, and that was just like 3 years ago, age 14. Me and my friend Isaac just kind of goofing around. Figured, hey, let's record a song. He got this interface,
Right. Well,
and
right.
he really had most of the ideas for that. I just kind of played the rhythm guitar,
Uh,
and he called it Opiate because he loves Tool.
that's what I was thinking. I'm like, this kind of sounds like Tool, and the song is the name of a Tool name.
Yeah,
Tool song.
he just yeah, and
Yep, I had that album on vinyl too.
I feel like I should get more into Tool.
I love after I got I jammed Undertow, and then I got into them after I jammed Undertow. Actually, that's funny. That seems to be a lot of first people's foray into Tool is Undertow.
Well, I mean, I think it's because like they have a couple of popular songs on this, like Sober. I think
And
that's one.
have you seen Sound City?
Prison Sex. Oh yeah, yeah, that's one of my favorite movies. Actually,
Yeah,
hang on a second. Hate to keep coming back to this, but that's both one of my favorite movies of last year and one of my favorite albums of last year.
yeah, I saw
That
that.
soundtrack.
I completely agreed. I was like, this is freaking awesome. Nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, it's
Nobody's
weird. It's like one channel review, as far as I can tell, reviewed it and just thought it was eh. But like, why is no one talking about this collab between with Dave Grohl and Trent Reznor and Josh Homme and Stevie Nicks and Paul
yeah,
McCartney?
dude. There's some great songs like Mantra, the one with Josh Homme and
All of
Trent
them.
Reznor. Right? No, no. Like some, like I agree. Like all pretty much all the songs are good. Uh,
The
but
one with
there's
the
some
Stevie,
that stand out even more, like the
yeah,
one
the
or
one with the Stevie Nicks is probably my favorite.
really, that's a good one for sure.
Um, heck, Rick Springfield was on this and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, even that was cool. That's a great riff.
And even that "Your Wife Is Calling" song, as weird as it is.
Yeah, that's actually a fun song. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, that's So what about Sound City?
Oh, that the movie's great.
Yeah.
Uh, I just I love analog tape recording. I'm actually obsessed with it. I actually on my speakers over there. I actually took my speakers to my friend's house and we recorded a bunch of songs onto a cassette tape, and it was really fun.
Oh,
We used that
yeah,
mic over there.
I don't think I could. I don't think I can do that at the moment. It's it's also kind of why, like, even if I was offered it, I wouldn't really want to put anything I do on vinyl now.
Right.
Like, just because it wouldn't add anything sound wise. I know that. So I feel
Right.
like
Like.
putting something out on vinyl, like just for the heck of it,
Hmm.
it's kind of a rip off.
Yeah, I agree. Like I bought your album on FLAC, you know,
Yeah,
and yeah, I mean I wouldn't buy vinyl at that point because that's pretty much
yeah.
as good as it's gonna get.
I haven't even made a CD for this thing.
Right. Which that you know, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Probably will at some point, but
Yeah,
it would
yeah,
probably just be like these like these like blank jewel cases you get at freaking Staples in 50 pack.
right.
Um, just burned onto these blank CDs with like maybe a label taped on
Yeah,
and like these makeshift liner notes I print out one at a time.
right.
Like I don't think I could. I don't think I have the money to get like a company to print them.
And right, that would your
I'd have
profile
to
probably
ship.
needs to get a little bit more play too. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I need to get that double-digit like count on Facebook.
Right.
Um, okay. And we just keep going up here. And with Mastodon one. That there weren't any metal albums I like absolutely loved from last year, so that was cool to have one of those now for this year.
I really love the Sunbather album.
Oh yeah, Def Heaven. Yeah, I heard a song on that and like I guess I get it, but it's not my kind of thing.
I love metal.
Like it
That's
was just like these. It was just like a bunch of like reverby guitars and a guy like.
I thought it was actually really beautiful, honestly.
Yeah, see, I guess I get it, but not my kind.
Uh,
Let's see here.
you know what I'm
Anyway, number five, Phanogram. Number four, Jack White. Number three, Saint Vincent. Number two, Bayside. Number one, Beck. Morning Face.
Yeah, that's actually one of the other albums I've listened to. I haven't listened to it all the way through. Actually, I did. I listened to it once, and
Wait, listen to
honestly, I
what?
wasn't. I listened to Morning Phase
Yeah.
all the way through. I probably need to listen to it again, but I wasn't all that impressed with
Oh,
Morning
you
Phase.
do. You do. It's a grower
Yeah,
because it's one of those where like I heard it twice and it's like yeah, I can pick out some songs I like here and there. It's cool. But
right.
then once when you like sit down and like listen to it with like the lyrics, it kind of turns into like this storyline of an album, like a
Really?
lot of emotional ups and downs to it,
Hmm.
and it's pretty powerful.
Well, I should check it out again with all that.
Huh?
I need to check it out again then, huh?
I mean, it's nothing like revolutionary, but for what it does, it works really well.
Right. Oh.
Um, and like I said, also like Bayside, Saint Vincent, Phanogram.
Uh,
Like, which ones have you heard from this year? I know you said not a lot, but
Mandatory Fun, Morning Phase.
like anything we haven't talked about. You you kind of froze.
Hello?
Oh, okay. You kind of froze for a second. There's two Dylans here now, and one of them's frozen. It's weird, but anyway. Uh, now I can't see you on your end. Hello.
Hey,
Okay. Okay. Now there are three Dylans.
sorry. Yeah, sorry about all that. That was a dumb idea. Sorry.
Okay. I'm just gonna hit ignore on. I'm just gonna
I,
ignore for the other ones. Oh wait. I think I just blocked you.
it's all right. Hello? Huh. This broadcast is having some technical difficulties. I'm tired of living for the moment. Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. My mom called me from this number and I just called it back, but never mind. Have a good day.
Do you want me to transfer you to her room?
Well, Jenny Stavey, uh,
What's the last name?
Stavey, Stavee.
I don't, is she a patient?
No, she works there. It's okay,
Oh,
ma'am.
okay.
Thank you. I'll call back later. Thanks. Hello. Mhm. 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 Hey. Okay, cool. Bye. Tired of living for the moment. do this, Berman. You know what you're doing to me. Rockin' in your hot I can't play. I can get you so far away. But what in the world can I say? Peace.